Boosters initiate. 7, 6, 5. 4-stage engine start. 3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The story of rocketry begins not in the sleek laboratories of NASA or SpaceX, but in the dusty annals of ancient history. As far back as the 9th century, the Chinese were experimenting with fire arrows, simple gunpowder-propelled projectiles used in warfare. They were primitive, unpredictable, and dangerous, but they were the first human-made objects to harness thrust. By the 17th century, European inventors began dreaming beyond the battlefield. The idea that rockets could serve not only to destroy, but to explore took root. In 1687, Sir Isaac Newton's Principia provided the physics that would make spaceflight theoretically possible. But it would take centuries before the dream could take flight. Enter Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, a Russian schoolteacher who, in the late 1800s, proposed the concept of space travel using rockets. He wasn't an engineer, but a visionary who declared, "Earth is the cradle of humanity, but one cannot live in the cradle forever." He laid out the mathematics of rocketry and imagined space stations and colonized planets, decades before a single engine fired skyward. Across the Atlantic, in a quiet Massachusetts workshop, another visionary emerged, Robert Goddard. Often mocked in the press for his space fantasies, Goddard was undeterred. He built and launched the world's first liquid-fueled rocket in 1926. It soared only 41 feet, but it was a monumental leap for humankind. The path forward was anything but easy. Tsiolkovsky worked in obscurity, producing groundbreaking theories without ever building a rocket. Goddard faced ridicule, meager funding, and technological limitations. His neighbors reportedly called the police after one of his test launches. But from those early failures came history-altering breakthroughs. Goddard's work led to controllable rocket nozzles, gyroscopic guidance, and liquid fuel propulsion, systems still found in modern rockets today. Meanwhile, in Germany, the Verein für Raumschifffahrt, Society for Space Travel, began experimenting with rockets during the 1920s and 30s. Among its members was a young engineer named Wernher von Braun, who would soon become a key architect of both triumph and controversy. As World War II erupted, rocket technology took a dark turn. In Nazi Germany, von Braun led the development of the V-2 rocket, the world's first long-range guided ballistic missile. Though a weapon of war, it was also the first man-made object to reach the edge of space, climbing over 180 kilometers high. When the war ended, the Cold War began, and so did the space race. The United States brought von Braun and his team to America through Operation Paperclip. Despite his past, von Braun would go on to lead the development of the Saturn V, the mighty rocket that carried Apollo astronauts to the moon. The science born in battle was now repurposed for peace. Rockets once used to destroy cities were now launching telescopes, satellites, and eventually, people into orbit. From fire arrows to moonshots, the legacy of early rocketry is profound. Tsiolkovsky never saw a rocket fly. Goddard died before his contributions were fully recognized. Von Braun's complicated past still prompts ethical debate. Yet without them, there would be no Voyager, no Mars rovers, no Artemis program. Every countdown, every liftoff echoes their work. Their legacy lives on in the powerful rockets of today, whether launching astronauts from Cape Canaveral, ferrying satellites into orbit, or preparing for missions to the Moon and Mars. And now private companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Rocket Lab are standing on their shoulders, pushing the boundaries even further. The science born in battle was now repurposed for peace. Rockets once used to destroy cities were now launching telescopes, satellites, and eventually, people into orbit. As we look forward, humanity finds itself on the cusp of a new space age. Reusable rockets land themselves with pinpoint precision. Plans are underway for lunar bases, Martian colonies, and even space tourism for civilians. The dream of space once imagined by philosophers and tinkerers is now a global ambition. But to understand where we're going, we must remember where we began. Behind every flame of a modern rocket is the spark lit by the visionaries who dared to dream beyond Earth. So next time you watch a launch, remember, it started with whispers of possibility in ancient scrolls, the scribbles of school teachers, and the determination of pioneers who believed we were meant for the stars. Their story is our story, and the journey has only just begun. Thanks for watching the untold story of early rocketry, where history met the stars. If you enjoyed this journey through the origins of spaceflight, subscribe to the channel at Beyond Earth. Buckle up for more deep dives into the bold visionaries and forgotten milestones that shaped space exploration. But don't stop here. Take your curiosity one step further and step back in time with that Beyond Earth. Buckle up and experience one of the most iconic moments in space exploration history with the ultimate Saturn V launch with enhanced sound. Watch it next. Let's reach Beyond Earth together. Buckle up.